Would you guys, do you want to avoid getting into a shootout with them like the last couple of years? Do you think things are more to your advantage if it's slow scoring, or will you take chances in the high scoring games?
I respect the philosophy that Coach Pruitt said in the meeting room today. It's going to be a street fight. And you just got to get ready to fight those guys. You don't know if you're going to get knocked out, if you're going to knock them out, but you just got to keep on fighting. We pretty much don't care about the scoreboard as long as we can pull out a win against a good football team.
What makes College Boyd so good, man?
I think not only his talent, but the knowledge he has for the game. He's a smart player. You can either say a guy's a smart player or an athlete. He's both in one. So that's pretty tough to defend.
Do you have a relationship with him at all?
Well, it was fun meeting him at the ACC kickoff. He's a nice guy, pretty down to earth guy. And I respect him. I have nothing but respect for him.
You know Sammy a little bit, though, don't you?
I know about him.
Yeah. Is there? He's said that he doesn't. Of all the teams he's played, there's no smack talk quite like playing against Florida State and the jawing go back and forth between you guys out on the field. Is that something you would agree with, and you try and up your game a little bit for Sammy?
I mean, I never talk trash to him. No, I don't get into that. Maybe the guys around. It'd be so much going on. I don't even get into that. But he's definitely a guy you have to know where he's at on the field at all times. There's no secret. We know who he is and what he is. He's a great football player. He's a guy you're gonna see playing on Sundays. So, in order to be effective in this game, we have to know where he's at all times.
What does he do that maybe separates him from other receivers? What makes him so much better?
Just his talent, his physicality, and his explosiveness. He's an explosive football player. And that's what you look for in the game of football, players that are explosive. And he's a game changer. He's a guy that can make something happen at any second of the game, and you have to respect that. You must respect that.
But it seems like they enjoy using him as a decoy, and they did it to you guys a little bit last year, where they use him to get everybody focused on him, and then they burn you with somebody else.
And that's another thing I kind of respect Watkins on. Never seen this guy cry for the ball. Week in and week out, you're gonna always have teams that game plan for one guy, and if you can decoy one side of the field and get other players, free up other players to make plays. Clemson do a pretty good job with that. But again, you still must respect him and his talents.
Well, I think last year you held him, 24 yards. I mean, obviously you were focusing in on him, but was there something you guys were able to do to have some success and slow him down a little bit?
Just game planning throughout that week. And like I said, it goes from he's in the scouting report. I mean, once you have our attention, you have our attention, and we must respect that. And you're someone that we have to take care of in the football game. Fortunately, last year we was able to do that. It's a whole new year. You never know what's going to happen out there this Saturday. So we just hope for the same success against them.
There was, I guess, a couple of plays that Brooks took pretty hard last year in that game, and he said, and he's been very honest about saying that the touchdown that he gave up and the interception that he didn't get at the end of the game were things that kind of weighed on him after that. Have you noticed him with sort of a different outlook or a different approach since that game? Did that really kind of something clicked for him after that?
I mean, he was the same person, the same good football player. I mean, I hope not. That's not a deciding factor in the way you act throughout the rest of your season, because it's football. You have to have a short memory as a DB. So you're going to get beat, especially against guys that Clemson has. So you have to just roll with it and just make another play. I mean, I didn't see any difference. I hope he was able to stay level-headed after that, because that's things that's going to happen against good football teams.
And he seemed, a lot of you guys in the secondary play so well that you're not racking up a whole bunch of tackles and stuff like that because guys aren't testing you as much because you're playing so well. But does he kind of float under the radar a little bit in terms of how much he's contributing out there?
Yeah, Terrence Brooks, a guy came in with me. I always rave about his talent and how me and him are the same kind of players, physical, smart. And like you said, we had Xavier Rhodes, Craig Reed, myself, and you got a bunch of other young, talented guys that just came in. So, he's kind of under the radar, but he's, to me, in my opinion, and to this organization, one of the best safeties in the country. And that's how we feel, and that's why he's the starter for us.
Marcus, have any other defensive backs put in a reservation with Coach Fisher to go play some offense? Since Carlos.
Nah, but
do you miss Carlos? on your side of the ball?
I mean, Carlos, he's a very selfless person, very unselfish team player, and for him to be able to go make that change and produce for this team, and that's great, man. That's real great.
Do you talk to Jalen? He's a true freshman, going to be starting a game like that on Saturday. Do you kind of tell him how it's going to be or what he needs to do, or is he the kind of kid that does it on his own?
He's a very well put together young player. I mean, Jalen, he knows, he believes in his talents, and he have us around him for comfort. So he's very confident in the older guys in the secondary. So he kind of go off of the energy that we have. So if we go out there, the older guys, as far as myself, Terrence Brooks, go out there with energy, then Jalen and the rest of those young guys will follow. And that's what I really enjoy and respect about the younger guys we have playing in the secondary.
Him especially, he seems like a real competitive kid. How competitive is he?
And you seen that when he first came, man, he kind of took losing to the heart.
Right.
It was like, this guy, man. It's like you don't want to take the competitiveness out of a player, but it's like, Jalen, man, it's just a one-on-one drill, man. Calm down. And you can see he get frustrated, and the guy catch the ball, and he's still trying to rip it out. He's like, Jalen, man, it's gonna be all right. Things like that happen. But he showed a lot during the spring and during fall camp, early in fall camp, and he has come a long way.
You knew pretty early he was going to contribute, he was going to play?
Yeah, definitely.
Mark, I
He
know you-
said one of the things that maybe is the most different about this team now is that, maybe in years past, as you guys are kind of building towards that you'd be super stoked about, we're playing number 3 team, or we have the opportunity to do this, we're worried about where you're ranked. That maybe the difference between you guys now and when you played like Oklahoma a couple of years ago, you don't really, that stuff isn't as big a deal anymore. You're just going out and playing a game. I feel like you have more maturity going into a matchup like this than you might have a few years ago.
I will honestly say yes. The past years I've been here, we always had a lot of talent. Always a talented football team. But this year I see that it's maturity, a brotherhood, and a belief, a standard that we have set. We have finally brought into Coach Fisher and his philosophy. It's a standard we set around here. And we all believe in each other. It's not about this player, that player. Last year you have 13 guys going to the draft. So it's kind of hard, determining who's your leader, kind of accepting that role. Not everybody feeds off everyone. We one team, one heartbeat, and we strongly, wholeheartedly believe in that, and that has helped this team grow tremendously.
Marcus, I'm just curious about one thing. I know that it's probably better for you to strip aside what you're ranked and what one team is ranked and focus on that and everything, and forget the game days there and forget it's on ABC on 8 o'clock. But is this the reason you guys came here, and isn't the reason all those Clemson players went there and guys go to Miami and Florida and LSU and Texas playing those games?
I can't speak on their behalf, but that's the reason why you come to Florida State. You embrace challenges like this. That's why it's it's nothing to do differently when you're going into games like this, because it's the reason you come to Florida State. You expect games like this. These are the games that you embrace. I mean, sometimes in the past it's been hard getting up for good ACC teams and just thinking about games like this, but we have matured and learned that every game is important, and this game is just another football game because we expect this.
Now, I know you guys feel like you can go up against any kind of offense, but when a team spreads you out with 4 wide receivers, or is that kind of a challenge to you guys? Because you guys have guys that linebackers can line up on receivers, you can line up receivers. I mean, is it exciting when teams try to match you guys athlete for athlete in space?
It's very exciting because you get to test your manhood. I mean, it's you one-on-one. You in space with a guy just as talented, if not better than you, and you really find yourself out from playing teams like this. When teams spread you out and you have to go one-on-one with a Sammy Watkins and know that they have a great quarterback throwing the football. So games like this, I mean, this is why you come to Florida State. You want to be the best, you play the best. And it's always a test, and you have to embrace it, and you prepare for it.
So does Coach Pro emphasize technique? Is it technique that's the difference, or what's going to help you win those battles?
In a game like this, you want to think about technique and fundamentals, but it goes back to what Coach Pruitt said earlier today. It's going to be a street fight. I mean, I don't care what kind of technique you have. Against a guy like Sammy Watkins, you got to have heart to cover him. Against a guy like Taj Boyd and that Clemson offense, you have to have heart. I mean, that's just what it is. We know that they have the same talent level as us. So when technique is not working, you gotta just have heart and compete. And we understand that. So this is gonna be a competitive game.
One more question.